All right, it is time to play some Frostgrave. There's a couple business matters to attend to. If you're going to play this scenario and you want to follow it, what I'm doing is I'm starting with one ghoul on each of the opposing edges, middle points of where my warband is. So I'm going to put those three out. And I also need to place two treasures. These tokens will be placed according to the rules, and you can download the PDF. The link is in the description below. They need to be placed 8 inches in a random direction, 8 inches from the altar, but they cannot be within 12 inches of each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a die for the first one, and it's pointing this way. So 8 inches would be right about here. And the other one is going to be placed that way, 8 inches. So I'll put it right about here. All right, so one's sort of close, not really. The other one is pretty far away, and that is it. Okay, so what is the object here? Well, my wizard needs to spend at least 3 turns within an inch of this obelisk here, which is considered the altar. If you read the PDF, you'll understand. If he can reach that and spend 3 turns, he will get +1 on his transcendence attempt roll after he hits level 15. I am also house ruling this. The rules state that you can roll your transcendence roll anytime after any game. So you could be a level 1 and roll a nat 20 and you transcend. I'm going to make it a little more fun. I'm not going to let myself do that until after level 10. I figure you need some experience. So we'll do that. Now, when turn 1 begins, you place the 3 ghouls. And then at the end of each turn, you roll a d20. If it's 10 or higher, you place a new ghoul and one of the 4 random midpoints. What else? Oh yeah, turn 3. There is a ghoul king. He's slightly beefier, and he will arrive at turn 3. You will not roll for random ghouls. Instead, starting with turn 4, a random ghoul will be added to the table every turn. So there's a time limit here. Let's go ahead and get going on this. I've got my warband all lined up over here. I'm trying to decide how I'm going to do this. By the way, I've got a cold. I do apologize. I've been fighting this cold for a few days now. Let's see. So if you haven't played solo Frostgrave before, the way it goes is it goes wizard phase, then apprentice phase, then creature phase, and then soldier phase. Now these creatures, these ghouls, they can smell human flesh. So they will always know where you are, even if there's no line of sight. They always move towards the nearest warband member, and they will even go over walls at a 1-to-1. They can climb very well, so they can go over a wall. And my warband, if you climb a wall, it's 2 for 1. You can move 1 inch for every 2 inches of movement you have. The ghouls don't have that. They can do 1-to-1 ratio. All right, so let's get going. First thing I want to do is I want to get my wizard moving. I need to get him up there as fast as I can. So I am going to activate him with an archer to protect him, and he is going to move. I'm not going to. I want to be casting spells so I can get XP. So I'm gonna move once. I can move 6 inches. So I'll move him right here, and I'm going to activate my archer to stay with him. Ooh. And that is it for, well, I'm going to cast a spell. So I'm going to choose to cast Enchant Weapon on my archer. He is normally +2. If I can make this roll, he will be +3. I need to roll an 8 or higher. I rolled a 5. I will take 3 health. I will take 3 points. I'm down to 11. I have the heal spell, so I could do that. But that's going to allow me to have a successful spell, and I'll mark that on my sheet here. And his weapon is now, my bow guy is now +3 shoot. And I could have the bowman move again, but I want to keep him pretty close to my wizard, so I'm going to end that. Now, the next phase is the apprentice phase. My apprentice is here with the 3, 2 archers and a thug. I'm going to go ahead and activate all of them. The Apprentice does not need to get up here. The Apprentice needs to work on controlling the enemies. So knowing that this one is going to be moving this way, I might as well bring him into view, right? So I can get the maximum. So I'm going to move her 6 inches, and then I'm going to group all these behind her. And then I'm going to have her cast enchant weapon on one of the archers. So I'll choose the, who do I want to have? Well, oh, you know what? They're all thugs. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm gonna change one. I meant to take one of the archers. The archers are the turban, knight, and bow. Turban, knight, and bow. That would be, the bow's there, so I'll send the turban with him. Okay, so he's gonna cast it on the guy with the turban. She needs to roll a 10. I rolled an 18, so I don't need to take any cuts there, and I will enchant Turban's weapon. He is now +3. And I did another successful spell. And keep track of your successful spells, because you get 5 XP, or no, 10 XP for each successful cast, 5 for each failed. And I'm going to be tracking this on my board down here. And I'll take a photo of this when all is said and done, so you can see where I stand. This also tracks treasure tokens, and the creatures you kill are reduced to 0 health because you get XP for those as well. All right, so do I want to double move them? I think I do. I'm just going to double move them in front of my Apprentice, so the archer has a view. This one is going to double move. And by the way, the ghouls, they move 6, except for the Ghoul King, who moves 7. So 6 and 3 is going to get him pretty close. He's gonna make a beeline for it. All right, that is the end of the Apprentice phase. So now we go to the enemy phase. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to rotate this to make it easier on me. I'm going to rotate this here, and this one senses the turban's the closest. So he'll move 6, and then 3, and he is like in their face. So let's come over to this one. This one, the closest human, is going to be the bow. There's no point in going up the wall when you can go around it, because you're going to spend just as much movement to go up this really high wall. If this was a short wall, I would say he'd move straight at it. But he's going to move 6, and then he's going to move 3, and he's coming. And then last, this one way over here is going to come straight at my wizard, who's the well, technically, that one's the closest. So he'll move 6 to here, and then he'll move 3 to here. So they are heading my way. Now it is the soldier phase. I have 4 thugs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, the apothecary, one of the thugs is here. That is the one with the daggers. Yeah, daggers is a thug. And so is the green cloak and shield. So 2 thugs, an archer, and my apprentice. Over here we have an archer. This one that's an archer, knight, turban, and bow. So this is my only archer, and the rest of these guys are thugs. So I want to see if I can get this guy. If I move my archer here, 6 inches. Now if he moves and shoots, there's a penalty. So if he moves a full 6, can he see? He can totally see that ghoul. But he moved, so that ghoul is going to get +1 to their fight. It's just a penalty for moving and then shooting. So I am going to, let's see, I'm going to roll, that is just a normal +2 shoot. And the ghoul is plus, let me turn back to the ghoul page, I always forget. I think the ghoul is +2 fight. +2 fight. So the ghoul is going to get +3 fight to my +2 shoot. I roll blue, rolls green. I rolled a 17 to its 13. 17 plus 2 is 19. 19 minus its armor of 10 is 9 damage. Its health is 10. It has 1 health left. Now, because it took so much damage in 1 shot, it is wounded, which means it only gets 1 action. And it's also, wounded, and I'm trying to remember what the other one is. Let me get to it real quick. There's different conditions that you can have depending on the damage you take. So wounded is 4 health. When you're reduced to 4 health or less, you're wounded. You only get 1 action. But when you take more than 4 points of damage in a single turn, that is called stunned, I believe. Let me double check. I apologize. I play so many games. Sometimes it takes me a while to get back the rules to where I can remember them all. But let's see. Shooting. No, it's not shooting. It is combat. Okay, critical hit. So it's not a critical hit. Forced combat, rough ground. I cannot find it, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. He's only got 1 health left. He's going to be out of the game pretty soon. So we will we'll just continue on. By the way, it's called critical, poisoned, wounded. It's all right. Anyway, so good on him. All right, now the rest of these are thugs. He's going to pull him this way because I'm going to move one of my thugs closer. I'm going to move him 6, and then I'm going to move him. I want to make sure he stays within range. I'm going to move him just over a hair. He's only going to get 1 action, so he's not going to be able to get very close. These 2 thugs, I need some protection for my wizard. So I'm going to move this thug up 6, and then another 3. I'm just putting him out front. Maybe have to deal with that one. And then I think they've got this. This one right here, I'm going to keep him. Where do I want to put him? I need to keep 1 in reserve towards the back in case a random ghoul appears back here. So I'm going to move him just up here, and that's it. That is it for the soldier phase. Now it's turn 2, and again, at the end of each turn, you're going to roll a d20, and on a 10 or higher, I rolled a 4. So there will be no extra ghoul added to the table this turn. And we are on turn number 2. So it is now, and remember at turn 3, the Ghoul King will come out randomly. Wizard phase. All right, got to get up there. So I'm going to have my wizard activate with these, and he'll move 6, which puts him right here. These guys will move 6, and this one will move. Well, this guy. Well, hold on. He already moved. So it was I only had 1 guy with him. That's right. So he will activate here. This guy could have activated. He was within range. I'll group activate him and keep him in front of my wizard. But this guy can fire on him. Now he's already got a +3, and you can't stack the enchantments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my wizard cast heal on himself. He needs to roll a 12 or higher to cast it. And I rolled a 3. I missed it by 9. And I believe 9 points means I'm going to take 1 point of damage. 9 is 1 point of damage. So I'm down to 10 health. And he is my apothecary, by the way. So he has a healing potion, which if I really have to, I could transfer that to him. And I'm not going to do that just yet. So I did fail a spell. I'm not going to take damage to bump that up. I'd have to take 9 points to successfully cast it, and that would almost make me dead. So down from 11 to 10. That is, all right, he moved, he cast, he moved. He's going to shoot. He's going to shoot at this one. He is +3 versus +2. And I rolled a 6 to its 7. So I did not make, a 9 does not defeat its armor. So, but you know what? It doesn't get through his armor. So he's okay. That is the end of my wizard phase. The apprentice. Okay, all of them will group activate. My apprentice is going to cast... My wizard really... My apprentice has such bad targeting rolls to cast spells. Enchant weapon, he needs a 10. I'll just go ahead and do that. Try that again. I'm gonna group activate. So I'm gonna move my apprentice just over slightly to say closer to safe, or further away from the ghoul, and then I'm gonna cast enchant weapon on my thug with the daggers. I rolled a 16, so the daggers goes from +2 fight to +3 fight. All right, excellent. I get a successful spell cast, and now moved. Well, technically they need to all move first, and then I can do the combat. So before they move, I'm going to have my archer, which is the turban, see if he can fire. He's +3 versus +2. Let's see if he can hit him. I rolled a 2 to his 1. He missed. Okay, that was bad. The archer will stay put. And then the thug with the daggers, because I group activate, I can move them simultaneously. I do all the moves, and then I do the action. So that's how one of the group activations options works. So why do I do that? Because when you surround a single enemy with 2 of yours, both of them get a +2 to their fight because of that ally. So daggers is normally +3 fight, but he gets the +2. So he's +5 versus +2, and I'm going to attack. And I got a 7 to its 2. The 7 + 5 is 12. It does 2 points of damage. Let me get a die to record the damage. And the 2 points is not enough to do anything, but because I won, I can choose whether I want to shove the ghoul back. I don't want to do that, because now I want my other thug to get his shot. He's normally +2, he gets the +2 bonus, so he's +4 versus +2, and I rolled a 4 to his 7, so they both miss, and they're going to stay in combat, which is really unfortunate for me, because since that's it for the apprentice phase, it is now the enemy phase. So let's go ahead and do it. This thug, neither one of them has any damage. So I'll just pick, he would attack the one that looks the weakest. Well, the dagger guy has glowing daggers, so he'll attack the one that does not have the glowing daggers. And it's going to be +2 versus +4. I rolled a 16 to its 19. I got a 20, but unfortunately, he got a 21. 21 versus Thug's armor of 10 is 11 damage, and that Thug is taken out that fast. Wow. All right, this one right here, the closest enemy is this guy. That is, from base to base is 9. From here is 10, 9.5 to 10. So this is still closer. I did do that right. So his single action will be to make one move 6 inches, which puts him right here. And that's all he can do. And then this thug over here, the closest, these guys are now the closest. So he will move a full 9 inches. Let me go over there and measure it. So 9 inches as the crow flies is right there. So my wizard is already seeing this ghoul breathing down his neck. Thankfully, I've got that apothecary there to provide some cover. All right, that is the end of the enemy phase, soldier phase. All right, these guys activated during the wizard's phase, so they're out. These guys did not. This guy did not. They activated. So all I've got is these 3. This one right here is going to move up just a little, and he's done. The archer here is going to fire. He is +2 versus plus... I am pretty sure that he has a negative modifier. I really should look that up because it's going to make a difference. Group act stat rolls, obstructions, combat, injuries, optional wounded. I know that there is a rule about they lose, it may be the wounded rule. They are, okay, wounded figures suffer -2 to all die rolls. So I should do that. All right, so he's just +0. So it's going to be +2 versus +0. And I rolled a nat 20 to his nat 1, believe it or not. So that ghoul is out of the game. Okay, so that was him. Let's go ahead and send them forward 6 inches. 6, and then I'm going to move him 3 just around here, and this guy is going to go back this way 6, and he's going to guard the rear until he can move up. That is all of my soldiers, and that is the end of turn number 2. All right, turn number 3, or at the end of turn 2, I roll a die to see if a ghoul appears, 10 or higher. I rolled a 4. Thankfully, no ghouls. All right, wizard phase. The wizard has an apothecary next to him with a ghoul. I also have an archer within 3, so that archer can take a shot. He's going to have to move because he's got an obstruction here. And that is unfortunate. Well, we're going to group activate. So movement first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the archer here. I'm going to move the apothecary in front of my wizard, but not blocking line of sight. And then my wizard is going to stay put. So now for their second action, I'm going to have my archer fire. That archer is +3 versus +2. I rolled a 4 to its nat 20. It dodges that easily. All right, that was not good. The apothecary is going to stay there, is going to stand his ground and make the ghoul engage him. So the wizard is going to get a shot. I am going to use my grenade spell. The grenade spell could be dangerous. Let me get to it, and I'll tell you how it works. The grenade, it has line of sight, which I have. The spellcaster takes an object, such as a rock, imbues it with energy, and throws it. The spellcaster picks a target within 14, right there. Every figure within 1.5 inches of it gets a +3 shooting attack. So it will not affect my apothecary. But first, I have to roll a 10 to successfully cast it. So let's try that. I rolled an 18, so I do get a successful spell cast. And I have thrown the grenade, and I throw it right here. So it is a +3 shooting attack versus the ghoul's +2. You know what I've never understood is if I add the wizard's shooting as well, because my wizard is +0. Never mind. Won't matter. I rolled a 12 to its 8. 12 plus 3 is 15. 15 minus 10 is 5. It has 5 damage on it, and it has 10 health, so it's halfway there. And because it took, it says when a figure is reduced to 4 or less, so he's not at 4 or less, but I believe there is another rule about when you take, if you take so much damage within one combat round, something happens. I can't find it, so I'm not going to worry about it. All right, let's see. So now that my wizard fired grenade and he's got 5 damage, this guy missed. About all I can do is I could rush, well, I can't rush my apothecary forward because he already moved. So if he moves again, he's not going to be able to attack. So instead, I'm going to keep him there to engage that ghoul during the monster phase, and we'll see what happens. All right, so I am done with the wizard phase. Let's come over here to Apprentice. The Apprentice will group activate with, oh, he's too far away to group activate. So all I can do is activate with my archer and him. So the Apprentice will move here, so I can get line of sight. The Turban will move here. He's in combat. I do not want to fire into combat. So I just want to stay there. Well, actually, you know what? I'll move over here. I don't want to fire into combat, and I can't activate daggers here. He's going to have to wait until the creature attacks. Hopefully he wins. And that is the end of the Apprentice phase, except I can cast a spell. Let's do that. The wizard will cast, the Apprentice will cast, let's cast Push. All right, let's try it. Push will take a 12. I rolled an 18, so I did successfully cast Push. Now, what does Push do? Push will allow me to send that guy. All right, so I successfully cast it. It says the target suffers an immediate +10 attack. Instead of taking damage, the target is moved 1 inch away from the spellcaster for every point. So because he's here, it's going to shove him this way. So I do a +10 attack. So it's +10 versus the creature's +2. I rolled a 16 to its 12. So I definitely beat it. 16 plus 10 is 26. That will send that thing. All right, so it's a plus 10 attack. Wow. He's going to go flying 1 inch from this bug for every point of damage. If this pushes the target into an edge or terrain, they stop immediately. Do not stop if they, okay. All right, so just a straight line from here to here, he's going to hit this. Bam, and he's going to stop. But that's okay. That was excellent. He takes no damage, and that is the end of... Well, my archer can't fire. Well, he could. He could turn and fire at that one. Let me make sure I can see. I can actually see him. He's not, there's a table that the apprentice is on. So I will shoot at him. He is +3 versus +2. I rolled a 12 to his 6. 12 plus 3 is 15. 15 minus 10 is 5. That is enough to kill the ghoul. All right, so that is 2 enemies killed. And I successfully cast a spell, so I'll mark that down. And that is the end of the apprentice phase. So now we go to the creature phase. This creature will attack. It is +2 versus my +3 dagger guy. And he rolls an 11 to my 16. I win. 16 plus daggers is +3. 19 minus 10 is 9 damage. He already has 2 on him, and that kills that ghoul. Oh, I needed that. All right, so all the ghouls are clear, but we're not done. I've still got to do soldier phase. So enemy phase is over, so soldiers can move. I'm going to move this soldier up here next to the apprentice. This one is going to move here, and this one is going to move, double move, 9 all the way up here. There's about 8. What I'm trying to do is protect my wizard to get him here, which is the objective, and hopefully they will survive. All right, I keep these videos under 30 minutes, so I'm going to end this one here, and in the very next video, I'll pick up right where I left off. My wizard is within range of the obelisk. It's probably going to take 2 more turns, because I don't think I can get within 1 inch of it on his next movement, especially if I want to cast a spell. But within 2 turns, he's going to be there. Now, there's the last thing to do. The soldiers have all moved. Actually, he didn't. I'm going to move him up here. All my soldiers have moved. It is the end of the turn. It is now end of turn 3. And remember, when this was turn 2, excuse me. Is that right? Did I say turn 2 or turn 3? This may have been turn 3. This was turn 3. When turn 3 began, the Ghoul King arrives. I should have put the Ghoul King on there. Let's go ahead and roll for random. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6. He's over here. So a Ghoul King, and I'm going to use a different mini for him, will start over here. And that is it. Now we go to turn 4. Now the Ghoul King would have moved. He would have moved 7, and he's moving. He's coming at me. All right, so he's within range. And now at the end of turn 3, it's now turn 4. And at the start of turn 4, a new ghoul always arrives. So let's roll to see where this one arrives. I rolled a 17, which is going to put him over here. And that is the start of turn number 4. I will pick up right where I left off in the next video. Until then, this is Jim the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me on this game of Frostgrave. I hope you enjoy it. I'll be back very soon with the next video. And until then, everybody, take care.
Check out the new RPG and Wargame newsletter. Each week, the Tabletop Engineer shares news, products, Kickstarters, and much more related to the gaming hobby. It's free to subscribe, so check out the link in the video description below to sign up.